The trustee.
Sir, you need to stop. You're being in contempt of court. You need to stop, or I'll have the officer assist you in stopping. All right, Missy.
False
I
imprisonment.
want you to stop talking, or you can go upstairs to the county jail. Now, do you want to go to jail tonight? The second
I also have a right to understand the nature of this. I have a right to understand the nature of.
If you don't want to listen to me, you can go to jail.
I'm not being disruptive. I'm just trying to understand the nature and cause of the charge.
All right, officers. I'm gonna close.
What am I doing? I'm sitting here trying to understand the charge.
If he gives any more grief,
Your Honor, can I please go home? Your Honor, can I please go home?
All right, folks. Today we're looking at one of the most baffling sovereign citizens we've ever featured on this channel. This guy is in court for driving without valid insurance and for speeding. Pretty straightforward charges, yet somehow he treats the entire proceeding like it's a joke. Despite the very real possibility of jail time, he's out here arguing with the judge like they're old college buddies trying to decide who gets the last slice of pizza. Newsflash, this isn't a frat house, it's a courtroom. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is this guy mentally unwell or just completely out of touch with reality? And what did you think of the judge's reaction? Did they handle it like a pro? Get ready, because this guy loves to dish out word salad like it's on the menu. Let's dive in.
Appearing in person and pro se. Your name tag on your uniform says Johnson, so I presume you are Mr. Johnson. Now, sir, if you could get right in front of that microphone, thank you.
Can you hear me?
I can. Sir, yes. You're charged in count 1 with speeding 82 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. That is a traffic infraction. It is not a charge that carries any jail time. It has a scheduled fine. 82 and a 65 is $87, but then there's also 108 court costs. In count 2, you're accused of operating your motor vehicle without proof of insurance. Now, if you had insurance but just couldn't find it, you can get the proof to the county attorney and she'll probably dismiss that charge. If, in fact, it had lapsed or something was happening so that you didn't have insurance on the vehicle at the time being January 4th, 2024, that is a B misdemeanor. The maximum penalties as far as jail time would be 6 months, although probation is usually granted. There is a mandatory minimum fine the court must impose of $300, but it could be as high as $1,000. You do have the right to hire any attorney of your choice. If you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for court appointed. You can waive your right to counsel and represent yourself. Another option, you might be able to apply for diversion. That is where you apply, and if the county attorney approves you for diversion, you would pay agreed upon fines, costs, get your insurance current, and pay a diversion fee, and she'd dismiss the charges and keep them off your record. If you want to talk about diversion or anything else with your attorney, you certainly will have the opportunity to do that. Your pleas, you have a choice of pleas. You can plead not guilty, and we can set this for trial at a later date. You can plead guilty, admitting the charge, and we would proceed with sentencing. Or you could plead no contest, which is neither admitting nor denying the charges, but you'd still most likely be found guilty and we'd proceed to sentencing. If you want to look into diversion, we'll enter a not guilty plea to give you time to do that. You can always change your plea, but once you're convicted, pre-trial diversion is off the table. So
probably not eligible for diversion based on his driving record.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to talk to an attorney then and discuss whether or not you have a defense? Or?
No, Your Honor, I would like to request a declaratory judgment due to there is no agreement for my performance under any agreement or commission of this court.
Well, I don't need an agreement from you, sir. So if I were,
Well, Your Honor, I simply do not understand the nature and cause of the accusation with regard to the jurisdiction of the venue and nature of this action until the prosecutor properly alleges them.
You can practically feel the tension rising with Judge Joe Webster. It's like you're watching the patience drain from her face in real time. And honestly, I don't blame her. This sovereign citizen genuinely believes that tossing out a word salad about freedom and jurisdiction is going to magically make his charges disappear. Spoiler alert, it won't. The law is pretty clear, at least to anyone living in reality. If you're driving without insurance or a valid license, you're breaking the rules. No amount of made-up legal jargon is going to change that. At this point, I honestly wonder if some of these people are mentally unhinged. Like, how do you reach a point where you actually convince yourself you're above the law? There's got to be something going wrong internally. Seriously, where are they even getting this nonsense from? YouTube? Some shady Telegram group? Because whatever it is, I'm kind of tempted to investigate it myself, just out of morbid curiosity. And just wait, because this guy isn't done yet. He's about to take things up a notch and start getting aggressive with the judge. Let's dive back in.
Your Honor, I object to you entering a plea to me because I must understand the nature and cause of these accusations. So I do not agree to you entering a plea on my behalf.
well, your position is taken and I'm still going to do it. I will note your objection for the record, but I'm going to enter a not guilty plea.
Well, I object to you entering
Your
a plea
objection
on my
is
behalf.
noted. Your objection is noted, and if the time comes, you can appeal that to the Court of Appeals. Now, on the issue
Well,
of
who is,
attorney,
Your Honor, I would like to ask, who bring these charges against me? I should have the right to
all
question.
right, we're not going to have this debate right now. I've told you your charges. I've told you the state of Kansas has filed those through its attorney, Jill Gillette. Now,
Well, I would like to call
I'm
the state to the, I would like to call the state to the stand, Your Honor.
We're
The
not doing that,
state bringing
sir.
charges against me. Who's it? How did I injure the state?
All right, this is your first appearance. I advise you of your rights. I advise you of your charges and possible.
Your Honor,
penalties.
I object to the proceeding, for I do not know the nature and cause of the
I'm
proceeding.
entering a not guilty plea. Missy, when is?
I object to you entering I object to you entering a plea on my behalf. I do not grant you that right.
Missy?
The court date,
You're supposed to act as a trustee.
Sir, you
Now,
need to stop. You're being in contempt of court. You need to stop or I'll have the officer assist you in stopping. Missy?
well, Your Honor, I would like to also bring to you
September
according to USC 12203.
Deputy Miles.
And also
would you,
Article 3, the judge must operate in good good behavior. So therefore, if you're making a threat towards me, then
Deputy,
that's
if he's going to
urging
keep
me to
being
perform in your
contentious, I'm going to
court.
have you take him into custody on contempt.
Then that would be illegal search and seizures, Your
No,
Honor.
wouldn't you need to go back?
It will.
All right,
It's
Missy.
false
I
imprisonment.
want you to stop talking or you can go upstairs to the county jail. Now, do you want to go to jail tonight?
Your Honor, again, Title
Deputy
4,
Miles, could you
let's
come in and
see.
assist the defendant?
September 27th at 9 o'clock will be the court date.
September 27th, you said 9 o'clock?
Yes.
9 a.m. You must be back here, sir, in person at the courthouse, or you will be arrested for failure to come to court.
Your Honor.
Now, that deputy there is going to take you into custody if you cannot control yourself through the remainder of this hearing.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just enforcing my right, Your Honor.
All right, so your first right is to have a hearing date, and that is September 27th, 9 a.m. The second
Your Honor, I
right,
also have a right to understand the nature.
This dude seriously cannot take a hint. Like, at all. If I were the judge, I would have hit him with 30 days for contempt without even blinking. Massive respect to Judge Webster for keeping it together, because let's be honest, most of us would have muted this clown or had him cuffed by now. Now, here's the thing, when this sovereign citizen demands to know the nature of the charges, he's not entirely wrong. That's actually a fundamental part of due process under the Sixth Amendment. But, and this is a big but, the judge did explain the charges. Multiple times. In plain English. He just refused to listen. Instead of hearing the explanation, he acts like the judge is orchestrating some kind of backroom, deep state kangaroo court. It's bizarre. At this point, it's not even about understanding the law, it's about being so stubborn and delusional that any clear explanation feels like an attack on his freedom. How much patience does Judge Webster have? Well, we're about to find out. Let's roll the next part.
Right to understand the
All
nature
right.
of the cause.
If you don't want to listen to me, you can go to jail. Do you want to know, do you want to hire an attorney or apply for court appointed?
No, I do not. I don't need to hire an attorney, Your Honor.
You want to represent yourself?
I don't need to hire an attorney. I would like for you as the judge, Your Honor, to explain to me the nature and cause of the.
All right, I'm not going to appoint an attorney if you don't want me to. If you want, you said you don't want to hire an attorney. If you want to apply for court appointed, the officers have forms there that you can fill out. If
I
you
just
don't
want to
fill them
understand the
out,
nature
I'm
and
going-
cause.
If you don't want to fill one out, I'm going to assume you don't want an attorney. And then if you come to court September 27th at 9 a.m., you're going to be representing yourself if you don't hire or apply for court appointed. And so you've got the third issue, does he have a bond? Looks like you do because you failed to appear February 27th at your first appearance. So bench warrant was issued, bond was set at $1,000 cash for professional surety. Looks like that was posted. Looks like you made a cash bond of $1,000. Does that sound right? You put up $1,000 cash back in July 12th?
I'm still trying to understand the nature and cause of this allegation, Your Honor.
I will continue your bond unless you get yourself hauled into jail on contempt before you leave. I will continue your bond with the condition that you reappear here in person at September 27th at 9 a.m. So you've got your court date, you've got your bond, and we've talked about your lawyer. Now, you're wearing a U.S. Army uniform with the name Johnson on it. Are you in or have you been in the United States military?
Your Honor, I'm still trying to understand the nature and cause of the allegation, Your Honor.
All right. If you can leave the courthouse now without any further disruption, I will let you do so. But I'm going to have those officers escort you to make sure you do so. So, Ms. Gillette, anything further?
Your Honor, it is your oath to explain the nature and cause of the allegation against me. Are you failing to do that?
All right. You can either walk out the front door with the officers, or you can walk upstairs to the county jail with the officers.
Let me know in the comments, do you think this guy's finally going to shut his mouth and leave the courtroom like the judge asked, or is he spending the night in jail? Because honestly, at this point, it could go either way. He has a choice here. That's the wild part. The judge has been more than fair, practically begging him to just cooperate and walk out. But nope. He's glued to his little sovereign citizen script like it's going to magically save him. Spoiler, it won't. And here's a fun fact, this guy was literally in the army. Yes, the US military. Government property. The irony is unreal. Like, how does that even happen? How do you serve in one of the most structured, rule-bound institutions in the country and then end up ranting in a courtroom about fake laws and imaginary jurisdictions? I honestly don't know if this guy is just completely out of touch, mentally unwell, or on something, because none of this makes any sense. It's like watching a live-action parody, except he's serious. Let's dive back in and see just how far off the rails this thing goes.
I'm trying to understand.
Disruptively.
I'm not being disruptive. I'm just trying to understand the nature and cause of the charge.
All right, officers, I'm gonna
What
Close
am
it.
I doing? I'm sitting here trying to understand the charge.
If he gives any more grief,
All I'm asking is to understand the charges. This is
I've
for
told
the
you the
record. You said it's for the
charges.
record, so I'm trying to understand what am I
I've
being
told you
charged?
the charges. Goodbye, sir.
I just want to understand the nature and cause of the charges, Your Honor. That's all I ask. It is your
I've
oath
gone
to
over
give me
those
that.
with you. If you tell me what kind of questions you have, I will be happy to answer them, but I've already told you.
Okay. Under what jurisdiction is these charges being brought to me under?
The state of Kansas has charged you with speeding 82 and a 65 and operating in a motor vehicle without liability insurance on January 4th, 2024 in Greenwood County, Kansas. You failed to appear for your first appearance and a bench warrant was issued and you were arrested and you made a bond of $1,000 cash or surety, posting a cash bond. Now you have to go to court and you have to answer those charges. You can
Your Honor, I
have
know.
a trial if you like, and the burden will be on the state of Kansas to either prove or disprove. If they can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, you're let go.
Well, I'm still trying to understand under what jurisdiction am I being charged under, Your Honor? That's all I'm trying to understand.
You're being charged under the jurisdiction of the state of Kansas under its criminal.
But according to the Constitution, there are only two
All
jurisdictions.
right, we'll have that on a later date. We'll be at recess, officers. Please escort him one way or the other, depending on his behavior.
But I'm still not understanding what you're charging me with.
Goodbye. We are adjourned.
But if she's the judge, I'm supposed to have clear and concise of what I'm being charged with. I'm not giving y'all a problem. I'm trying to. Well, I'm waiting on the Your Honor to explain.
All right, Missy.
But that's it.
That's our last case on the docket, isn't it?
This is not good.
Yes.
All right. All right. Ms. Gillette, I'll see you at 3:30 docket.
Your Honor, can I please go home? Your Honor, can I please go home? I'll leave.
All right. Well,
Can I go home?
I left it up to them and I left it up to you and then they were to behave accordingly.
I've got to say, I've never seen a court case this bizarre in my life. It was like the guy was begging to be thrown in jail. Maybe he's homeless and just wanted a place to stay? I don't know. What I do know is that the judge broke everything down for him, the charges, the jurisdiction, in the simplest terms possible. And somehow, this guy's brain just couldn't or wouldn't process it. He's the perfect storm of arrogance and delusion. Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if this was a case of stolen valor, because there is no way someone acting like this made it through the US Army. It just doesn't add up. But let's talk about the bigger issue here. Sovereign citizens, as a group, are a massive waste of court resources. Judges, clerks, and everyone else involved are forced to sit there and endure these legal tantrums, while real cases, ones that actually matter, get delayed. Taxpayers end up footing the bill for these courtroom circus acts, and for what? So someone can argue a bunch of imaginary legal theories that have no basis in reality? It's frustrating, ridiculous, and honestly unfair to everyone involved. I genuinely feel bad for any judge or courtroom staff who has to deal with these people. It's like they're living in a parallel universe where facts don't exist. Anyway, what did you think about this court case? Personally, I think this guy was an absolute idiot, but I also think Judge Webster handled it like a pro. She gave him multiple chances, stayed calm, and then finally laid down the law when he wouldn't stop. It was definitely a waste of time, but still a fascinating case to watch unfold. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, it really helps out the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, everybody.